Intellectual property rights on the development and use of digital materials. Statistics of plagiarism cases. The percentage of cheaters in high school is very high. 95% of respondents, of which there were around 70,000, admitted to breaking the honor code of their institutions. 64% of them confessed to cheating during tests, and 58% admitted to committing plagiarism. The study found that despite students reporting they had a conceptual understanding of plagiarism, the majority of them reported that they had intentionally and unintentionally committed plagiarism, mainly due to pressure to get good grades or fear of failing, laziness and procrastination or poor time management, and disinterest in the assignment. Brief introduction about plagiarism. So plagiarism means using someone else's work without giving them proper credit. In academic writing, plagiarizing involves using words, ideas, or information from a source without citing it correctly. Plagiarism is the act of taking a person's original work and presenting it as if it was one's own. What is intellectual property? Intellectual property, or IP, refers to creations of the mind, such as inventions, literary and artistic works, designs and symbols, names and images used in commerce. Examples to this one is copyright. Copyright is a legal term used to describe the rights that creators have over their literary and artistic works. Works covered by copyright range from books, music, paintings, sculptures and films, to computer programs, databases, advertisements, maps, and technical drawings. Patents. Patents is an exclusive right granted for an invention. Generally speaking, a patent provides the patent owner with the right to decide how or whether the invention can be used by others. This means that once you've patented an invention, no one else can make, use, or sell what you've created without your permission. Next is trademarks. Trademarks is a sign capable of distinguishing the goods or services of one enterprise from those of other enterprises.
Copyright refers to the legal right given to the owner of the original work or intellectual property. Copyright is an exclusive right to the owner. It protects original creative works of authors as soon as the author fixes the work in a tangible form of expression from unauthorized duplication or use, usually for a limited time. Copyright gives authors rights to sell their books, publicly display photographs, or publicly perform plays. Examples of creative works that is protected by copyright are movies, books, songs, sound recordings, sculptures, and software. Users need permission before using someone else's copyrighted work. Copyright infringement is the use of works without permission where the copyright holder has the exclusive right to reproduce, distribute, display, or perform the protected work or to make derivative works. Proper citation should be used when including them in our output. Copyright infringement is when a copyrighted work is reproduced, distributed, or publicly displayed without the permission of the copyright owner. Example of copyright infringement is sharing copyrighted media on torrent sites, especially sites that encourage uploading or downloading without permission. Here are the guidelines on online use of copyright materials by Smaldino, Lothar, and Russell, 2012. Contrary to popular opinion, all material in the Internet is copyrighted unless stated otherwise. It is copyrighted even if it does not display the copyright symbol. An email is an original work fixed in a tangible medium of expression that is covered by copyright. Hence, it is recommended that you should not forward any email without permission in consideration of both Copyright and Privacy Act. Downloading an article from a newspaper's website, making copies and distributing them to your students, prior to a class discussion on the topic is permissible following the current photocopying guidelines, which permits making multiple copies for classroom use. The exception would be individually bylined copyrighted articles or articles from a source specifically designed for the educational market, where such articles cannot be copied legally for class distribution. Adopted from Becker 2003. You cannot post students' essays, poems, or other works on a school website unless you have permission of the students and their parents or guardians. Educators should treat copyrighted materials from the internet the same way they do to print formats. The best guideline is to always obtain permission. When in doubt, ask.
Plagiarism. Plagiarism is when you use someone else's words and ideas without crediting the source and pass them off as your own. For example, let us say you are writing something for the company newsletter and you find a great article online that is full of useful information, so you take several parts of that article, change a few words around and submit it without giving credit to the original author. That is what we call plagiarism.
So there are 5 types of plagiarism, and let us talk about those types. First, verbatim plagiarism. It is also known as the copy and paste plagiarism. As its name suggests, it is when you directly copy and paste text from a source without citing the author. Second, patchwork plagiarism. You copy phrases and ideas from different sources and put them together to create a new text. In order to piece the different texts together nicely, this kind of plagiarism often includes some paraphrasing. Third, paraphrasing plagiarism is the most common type of plagiarism, so let us pay extra attention. Fourth, global plagiarism. It is when you take someone else's work entirely and use it as your own. That includes if you find a text online and submit it as your own.
And last but not the least, self-plagiarism. You can also commit plagiarism by reusing your work you have previously submitted. This is what we call self-plagiarism. So no turning in a paper you have already submitted for another class, or recycling ideas developed from previous assignments. Just because it is your own work, it still counts as a academic dishonesty because you have already gotten credit for the work. Infringement is the copying of the content and the sue without the consent of the creator. However, they are not one and they are not the same. The difference between the two is that copyright infringement is when copyrighted material is used without permission of the copyright holder, such that the exclusive rights of the holder is violated, then the wrongdoer is held liable for monetary compensation to the copyright holder. On the other hand, when any person steals and passes up another person's ideas or words and using them as their own without giving reference or credit to the source, it is what we call plagiarism. There are 3 steps on how to avoid plagiarism. First, always cite your sources. Showing where you found your information gives credit to the original authors and help reinforce the legitimacy of your content. Second, quote the source's exact words. If you are quoting from a source, always quote the source's exact words. When inserting one into your work, place quotation marks around it and be sure to include the author's name in the same sentence. And the third one, use exact original ideas and opinions. Write your own thoughts and explanations regarding your research topic. If you do need to use information from another source, be sure that it is relevant. And if you do use it, make sure that you cite it.